Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Nick Tan Chats, my magic and mostly mentalism review show. My name is Nick Tan, and on today's episode I'll be chatting with you guys about Devil Knows by Louis Laval at Mindhaus. Hi again guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for showing up, thanks for tuning in, thanks for spending some time with me today. So on today's episode, I'll be chatting with you guys about something by Louis Laval. This is something that he calls Devil Knows. Alright, now if you've been watching my channel for some time, you will know that I am a big, fanboy, of Louis Laval. I've done quite a number of episodes on my channel as well for, the products that he has put out, alright? For example, there's Mana, there's Orphic, Iris, Star Map, so if you're interested in those episodes, do look them up on my channel. And some of you may know that one of my hobbies, alright, in my free time, I enjoy doing portrait. Alright, so I've managed to do one of Louis, which I've managed to mail to him. In recent times, I've also done another one. Alright, this is the most recent sketch of Louis, and actually I prefer this one, so I don't know, I should have sent him this one instead of the first one. But anyhow, let's talk about Devil Knows. Okay, so Devil Knows is, it's a mentalism kind of release, alright? But it's not the kind of mentalism where, a spectator thinks of something, like a word or a name, and then you tell them what the name is. It's also not the kind of routine where, the spectator makes, random choices and then you show that you've predicted it. It's actually a readings system. So personally for me, giving readings and performing mentalism with this kind of an approach is quite a new thing for me, because in my early days as a stage performer, as I'm sure many of you were, alright, we were all very, Darren Brownie, alright, but I've kind of moved away from that and I've tried to actually incorporate some, kind of mystical elements in the show as well, and it does seem to play well, alright, personally. In my stage show now, there is the use of a crystal ball as well, which I never thought I would, actually use. But yeah, it's quite a recent thing for me, and my interest in it started sometime in 2016. All right, when I first picked up something from Luc Germain. All right, I think he called it the Tarot Alphabet, where he teaches you how to give, intuitive style readings using tarot cards. And then also in 2016, I picked up something from Scott Creasy as well. All right, I think it was a PDF called Cartomancy for Magicians. That also kind of got me interested in, having a kind of a system which enabled me to do, readings. So, Luc Germain and Scott Creasy and Louis Laval, of course, were, inspirational to me, in kind of exploring this area of mentalism, right, giving readings. And so once I learned how to do, tarot style readings and, some basic cartomancy readings, even in my stage show, I immediately started incorporating them I started incorporating them into some of the reviews that I do on stage. All right. So, for example, if you watch any of my videos of my live show, you'll know I love doing things like birthday reveals, star sign reveals, and bits of personal information. But before I get to those hard, solid information reveals, I would throw in these, intuitive style readings, right? I would just allow, a tarot card to come to my head, and then I would just give the spectator on stage, right, the participant on stage, a very simple, short, 1 sentence, 2 sentence kind of a reading. And I don't know if it hits, right? But then again, giving readings is not about getting hits per se, all right? And this is something that we need to kind of get our head around, because as mentalists, we are always about getting hits, right? But readings isn't like that. I found that it really is about just giving the spectator something for them to kind of ponder, and kind of get them to relate to themselves. In my experience, up to this point, doing it on stage, I have found that, well, first of all, I don't know if it's applicable to the participant on stage, right? But I do know that during these kind of, delivery of these bits of readings, the audience, I can sense that they are kind of leaning in and they're kind of more interested in the show, right? The show becomes slightly richer, it's got more texture, I think. And well, for the participant on stage, sometimes I can tell that, you know, it's kind of accurate, right? They go like, you know, impressed, right? There are times, you know, that I can tell that it's not really applicable to them. However, they still go like, you know, they listen to what I say and then they go like that, right? Which shows that they are kind of processing the information and trying to get it to kind of apply to them, you know. So, you know, well, long story short, I don't want this episode to go for too long, right? But long story short, you know, it really is about, you know, in Louis Laval's words, right? You give them the words and they provide the meaning. But anyway, I don't want to talk too much about myself, okay? So I tend to go off on these little, you know, tangents, all right? But let's talk about Devil Knows. Okay, so Devil Knows is a reading system, all right, that's based on cartomancy. So what do you get when you purchase Devil Knows? Well, Devil Knows comes with this card. Okay, now this is not the actual card that you'll receive. You'll receive one that is much nicer, all right, you know, that is produced professionally. This is actually just a homemade one, all right, which I just made for myself, just to play around with and just to, you know, be able to show you guys on camera as well, right, like roughly what you will receive. So on one side of the card, there'll be like categories that you can give a spectator readings on, and on the reverse side, there is a poem, all right, a poem called The Devil's Picture Book. It is a poem that allows you to kind of learn the meanings of the playing cards, right, which enable you to give these intuitive style readings. So this is a homemade one because, well, Louis was kind enough, all right, to actually send me, you know, the videos from Mindhaus, all right, just to, you know, have a look at and to chat on this show. But I didn't get this card, all right. So if you do purchase Devil Knows from Mindhaus, you will be mailed the actual card itself, all right, the actual product, which I believe is made like you know, the same thickness and the same size as a credit card. So it'll be professionally done, not this, you know, homemade laminated thing. In addition to the card, you will also receive like I think like a 2-hour video tutorial, all right? It's broken up into many parts, all right? But on the video, Louis will be there, all right? He'll be sat at a table and he'll be just taking you through the whole project. He will tell you about the card itself and explain how to use it. He will then take you through some examples about how to give cartomancy readings. He'll give you some more ideas about giving readings in other ways as well. He will talk about a Q&A, you know, doing psychometry readings. And then towards the end of the video, he also shares another routine that is called Fate Card, all right, that you can perform using, you know, a borrowed deck of playing cards. So I think there isn't much to say about this project, you know. I personally think it's good, all right, and Louis does go quite in depth, you know, into teaching you how to give, you know, these intuitive style readings to participants using this system. Now, this is a system, okay. Now, when it comes to systems, to me, it is kind of like similar to memorized deck work, all right, a mem deck. Okay, because, you know, many times one question that I get asked really often is, which is the best mem deck to learn? To me, the answer is really simple, right? It's just simply just pick one, all right? Pick one mem deck, learn it, all right, and then go out and start using it. Okay, because, you know, the more you just keep thinking and start analyzing, right, about, you know, which is the best one to learn, there isn't really a best, I think, you know, and it's really just about learning one, committing to it, and then just performing with it, okay? Because if you just keep thinking, you will be stuck with, you know, analysis paralysis, right? And you just don't get anything done, right? So I think when it comes to reading systems, it's similar in that, well, Devil Knows is a cartomancy system. So as I mentioned earlier, you know, Scott Creasy also released something along these lines, right, where, you know, the values of playing cards have meanings, the suits of the cards have meanings, and then you combine you know, both the card and the suit to give a particular reading for whatever, you know, question that comes up, right? So that kind of a format I first learned from Scott Creasy. Okay, so Devil Knows is similar. Some of the meanings of the cards are like slightly different, you know, but they are both kind of different systems, right, that kind of achieve the same ends, right? So it's about just learning one of the systems and then just using it, you know, just get familiar with it, go out and perform it, and I think you will then just kind of get better at it as you go along. So as a mentalist, I think learning a system like that, all right, a cartomancy system in your head is really useful, because as I mentioned earlier, I think, right, that it really enriches a performance, because you're now kind of, not making the routine about yourself, not about what you can do, you kind of, involve the spectator as well, right? Personally, they are kind of getting something out of it at this point. It's not just about watching you do, clever tricks and things like that. They kind of get some insight into their own life. So I think it's a really useful skill to learn, and a useful tool to have, right? At the back of your mind as you perform mentalism. So learning a cartomancy system such as Devil Knows will, enable you obviously to give, cartomancy style readings, right? You could have, a physical deck of cards, a spectator shuffles a deck of cards, they deal 3 cards out onto the table, and you can do like a past, present, future reading for them, all right, based on whatever question they ask. That in itself is quite engaging, if done well. However, I think it is also useful because, well, it is a system that is in your head, all right? So you don't have to use physical playing cards. Okay, as Luke Germain, talked about as well, this can just be a system that you use secretly, all right, in your mind. So, whoever you meet, if in the moment, if you want to do like a reading for them, you could just allow a playing card to just come into your mind in the moment and then just interpret that card, all right? So with no playing cards, basically, you're just using the cartomancy system that you have in your head to, inspire the content, right, that you can talk about in the moment. So that is another tool that you can use, right, without physical playing cards. It's a kind of secret system that you have in your mind, and I think that is really useful to have. So is Devil Knows kind of like difficult to learn, and is there memory work involved, right? Well, there is going to be memory work involved, because, well, you do need to learn, all the 13 values, all right, of the playing cards, and also, the 4 suits, right? Because, each individual item has got their own meaning. And then I think the main practice you got to come up with is kind of like putting the number as well as the suit together to come up with a meaning, okay? Now, just knowing the meaning isn't enough, okay? Because this is the kind of thing where you do need to keep doing it. You just need to do it to kind of get good at it, right? You can't just practice alone, because giving a reading is not a one-way thing, all right? It's not like a script that you just recite to a spectator, okay? It's like a conversation, actually. It really is about having a conversation inspired by, or rather guided by, the system, right? If that makes sense. So using the system, you kind of throw things out, have them relate to it, and then you kind of expand on it using your own intuition and common sense as well. It has been mentioned before elsewhere, right? That it's really about just speaking to the spectator, genuinely just caring about them, and it's as though you're giving advice to a friend, basically. So yeah, you do need to commit some things to memory, all right? But I will tell you that it's quite, logical, intuitive, because the values do kind of inspire or trigger what you need to say as well. It's based on, numerology, so if you know the basic meanings of numbers in numerology, you should have no problems whatsoever just adapting to the system in Devil Knows. So all in, if you are a mentalist who enjoys giving, these kinds of readings, all right, or you perform with a mystical style of an approach, all right, then I can recommend you have a look at Devil Knows, because it will arm you with a system that you can use anytime, anywhere. You carry it around in your head, all right. It's EDC, but you don't have to carry anything, right? So just learn it, and I think you will have an interesting tool at your disposal, especially when you're performing mentalism that involves personal information. So once again, I'd like to thank Louis Laval over at Mindhaus for letting me have a look at this so that I can chat about it with you guys on this show. If you'd like to pick up a copy of Devil Knows for yourselves, I will leave the link in the description box down below. So that's all for today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed it, got something out of it as well. I've got some other things that are arriving in the mail really soon, so yeah, it's gonna be a couple of episodes for me to work on. But yeah, till the next episode, do take care of yourselves, stay safe, have fun with your magic and your mentalism, and I will see you on a future episode of Nique Chats.